welcome back for another book talk video. It's Sci-Fi Sunday, and today I bring you a book called Dry by Neal Shusterman and Jarrod Shusterman. You need to read this book. If you have not read this book yet, considering the global situation, the pandemic we are in, I highly recommend this book, though a lot of people loved this book back in 2018, 2019, before the pandemic ever happened. This is not a book about a pandemic, but it is a book about a drought. In the narrative, it's called The Tap Out, in which everyone's running out of water. People have gotten used to the idea that they're not allowed to water their lawn or fill up the pool or take excessive showers, things that use up lots of water. But suddenly, in California, they shut off the water, as economically different counties and cities are competing with each other for the water supply. And oh my goodness, it is very much like a lockdown scenario in which suddenly you've got announcements from the government, emergency declarations, you've got people unsure how to respond. I was saying I think you should read this during the pandemic because psychologically it really helped me. It helped me a lot during my pandemic shock to kind of work through a lot of the emotions and ideas of responding to such a situation. But also, I think you'll be happy to realize, oh, at least we still have water. At least our water supply is not run out. We have clean water. We're going to be okay. We have the basics so we can survive, because that's a serious issue in this story. Neal Shusterman, of course, is an award-winning author. He's written a lot of young adult fiction. You may know him from the Scythe series or many of his other great books and series that he's written. So just in general, I would highly recommend anytime you hear that a book is by Neal Shusterman, you should read it. It's called young adult fiction, of course, because it's written with that target audience in mind so that young adults can read it and understand it. But I know plenty of adults who read his books and love his books. So I would say young adult and adults. I really think pretty much everybody can enjoy Neal Shusterman's books. In this story, he does a great job with the point of view because he switches from chapter to chapter to different characters. And something that he does with those different characters is the different characters are from different levels of socioeconomic status. You've got Alyssa, who gives the appearance of being just kind of the average girl from a middle class area. You've got her brother Garrett. You've got their next door neighbor who's named Kelton. And Kelton's got a really weird family in which his father has been thinking that there's going to be some sort of end of the world scenario for a long time. So I guess he'd be one of those prepper kind of families, but also very reactionary. It's interesting to see how that family dynamic works and how that interacts with the other people. You've got Jackie, who's a homeless girl, and she has learned how to survive on her own, and then she's got to work with a group of people. You also have this arrogant rich kid in the story. His name is Henry. He lives in one of those exclusive walled off areas in the city where it's very elite. And he's managed to get a hold of a lot of nice, expensive, valuable things. He is taking advantage of this end of the world kind of scenario, this emergency scenario, and trying to profit off of it. Ultimately, of course, you end up with these kids, these teenagers, who have to come together to survive, and it makes for a very exciting story with their different points of view, the different ways that they think, and how that they have to learn not just to trust each other, but to come up with plans to survive and achieve their goals. The book does have that trope of survival scenario where they end up in a road trip kind of scenario, trying to get from place to place and figuring that out, which is fun. They use that in a lot of movies as well, zombie apocalypse kind of stories. While there are no zombies, the apocalypse feeling is very much there. Of course, society is reacting to the scenario. This isn't the entire nation or the entire world completely run out of water yet. It's that their local areas have had their water supply cut off. Eventually, support comes in, of course, as you would expect, and this is just the story of them surviving until that additional support can get to them. But ultimately, this novel delivers a serious warning about the potential future of the world we live in with global warming and the fact that a lot of areas are running out of usable water. So this gives us a sense of what could happen to humanity in the future. I highly recommend the book. I believe I gave it 5 out of 5 stars for being such a great read. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.